You can make colors lighter by adding white, yellow or a combination of white and yellow. So here I have cat yellow light, a kind of primary yellow, and here I gradually added more white. Now these colors you can easily make slightly lighter. Orange is a good example, and I will make it lighter with yellow. So, and all kinds of shades, and you can go even lighter of course. But I can also mix a little bit of yellow and white in the mixture. So this one contains a little bit of white as well. Then it gets slightly cooler as well, the mixture, you see. Now I will take a more extreme example. If I add more white to the mixture, in this case, my orange gets lighter, but also way cooler. It gets more to the pink side now, you see. So it's a matter of balance. What do you need? More warm light orange or more cool light orange? Now I'm gonna do the same with red. This is pyrrole red, by the way. Make it lighter with a little bit of yellow and white. So then you get more these kind of colors. Here I should have done a little bit of red with a little bit of pure yellow. Then we get lighter variations as well. And of course then you get more an orange kind of a color. But sometimes you see that in lighter reds, that you see that it shifts towards orange. And now red with, you get the idea I guess, but if I add a mixture of yellow and white, then it gets cooler and lighter. That effect is different than this. Here we had added yellow with a little touch of white. Here I've added white with a little touch of yellow. And last thing, and here's what happens if you only use white. See, with all kind of shades in between, of course. So that was red. And again, I have to clean the palette. And now we're gonna do the same with burnt umber. If I only add yellow, then we get something like this. If I add yellow and white, this is yellow and white, then I get something like this. You see, then it also gets cooler. And again, you get the idea. Here we have that mixture with even more white, then the mixture becomes even more cooler. That I say cool, that's relatively speaking, because still it is quite a warm color. And last but not least, I will show you burnt umber with a little bit of white only. See, that's close to this one, but still you sense that this is slightly warmer than this. So for brown colors as well, yellow often works fine, but again, it's just what do you need, more warm or more cool. Now another nice color to lighten with yellow, with white, or a combination of both is green. So if I add yellow to the green, we get a lighter green, but as well it stays intense, vivid, because green already contains yellow, of course. It's the same story as with the orange. So you get nice light green colors like this. But maybe you don't need it to be as vivid as this. Then you can mix it with this mixture, for instance. So much yellow, but also a little bit of white. And you see immediately it's a different feeling. It's less warm, it gets cooler. So again, it's just a matter of what do you need in your painting. Now of course I go to this mixture that contains even less yellow. And there you go. Another totally different kind of flavor. Just looks like cooking lessons, these painting lessons. And last but not least, again, I will show you green with pure white without a drop of yellow. Then we get something like this. So, and isn't it nice? I always like these kind of steps. Yeah, it looks nice on the palette. So you see, warmer, cooler, and it all depends on how much yellow the mixture contains. So again, I have to clean the palette. Sometimes it makes me sad a little bit to throw away paint like this. I don't need it, but I needed it for the video. But on the other hand, when more people have a better understanding of color mixing, I hope, in the grand scheme of things, it saves paint. Now let's take a look at blue. With blue colors you almost never use yellow, to be honest, when you want to lighten them, because yellow will shift the color towards green. So of course there are always exceptions, but let us take a look. So if I put cyan here, just as an example, and I add yellow, of course I get green. That's not useful to lighten my blue. Yes, it gets lighter, but it isn't the color that I seek anymore. And as well, if I just take this mixture that contains a slight amount of yellow, then still my blue will get, of course, get lighter, but you see immediately it also shifts towards green. And most of the times that's not what we are looking for when we want to lighten a blue color. So it depends, of course, but when I put cyan over here and I add just white, then I get a nice lighter blue. And of course, the more white I add, the lighter it gets, and the more blue I add, the darker it gets. See, you can make all kinds of variations in between. Same story goes for ultramarine blue. By the way, sometimes you need more white to lighten a color than in other cases. For instance, this cyan is quite a strong pigment, and then I need more white to lighten it. But ultramarine is a weaker pigment, the tinting strength is less. So when I add a slight amount of white, you see that my white is stronger than that ultramarine pigment. So it very quickly turns the ultramarine to almost white. So that's because some pigments are stronger than other pigments. So there you go, variations of blue. And wow, what does it look nice again. Now here I've made some purple kind of colors. And now the thing with purple is it's completely opposite on the color wheel to yellow. And so that means that purple and yellow are complementary colors, and if you mix them, they will neutralize each other. So then you get a brown color or a grayish kind of color, or maybe slightly towards green. That depends on the balance, but let me show you with one of the purples. I'll grab the most neutral one, I guess. Just to show you shortly what happens if I add here this mixture that contains a little bit of yellow and white, then you will see that the purple will get grayish. You see, it has some purple feel to it, but it gets a little bit neutralized. And the more yellow I add, the more you see that. Now it gets more to this kind of color. So it isn't purple anymore. So with purple as well, to make it lighter, only use white. So there we go. Much white, you get this. Slightly less white, we get this. That's that kind of purple. Then we go to this kind of purple. Add a little bit of white. You see, beautiful light purple. Can add even more white if I like, and I can add more purple if I want. Now over to the last one. So, and there you go, light variations of purple. Now I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching, see you next time.